Hi, everyone. I want to talk to you about hypocrisy. You may think this is something we really hate, something we try to call out all the time in our lives, try and stamp it out. But the truth is, while researching my book, The Hypocrisy Trap, I found some really interesting evidence that we actually don't mind hypocrisy sometimes. There are cases where we sometimes think it's the right thing to do. So here are my four kinds of hypocrites that we actually like. First up is the relatable hypocrite, and this is where not practicing what you preach actually makes you more effective. So, if you think about a doctor, you might think that it's best to go to a doctor who is completely consistent with their advice to be healthy. But the evidence suggests that for overweight people, they actually don't want to do that because they fear they're going to get judged. Um, actually, they may prefer a doctor who is more visibly struggling with their weight because that doctor's hypocrisy, not doing exactly what they're recommending to you, means they also kind of are aware of the struggle, makes them more relatable, makes them seem less inflexible and less like a zealot about it. That kind of human side of it actually is more appealing and can be more effective. Next up is the virtuous hypocrite. And this is where somebody's actually concealing the fact that they do a good thing, maybe to get some kind of status in a different way, like being a maverick or being a free thinker. So one study talked about the founder of the Ashley Madison website, who established this service for extramarital affairs, was very promoting of infidelity himself. The study suggested if he was actually faithful in his own life, how would you judge him? It turns out that people actually judged him much more praiseworthy and in a more positive light if he was doing, the virtuous thing in private. Sure, actually they found him more of a hypocrite, but that didn't outweigh the fact that he was kind of doing the right thing. So there are virtuous hypocrites who actually do the right thing but don't talk about it. Third one, the principled hypocrite. And this is super interesting for politics. One study showed people two versions of a politician. One who made a big claim up front, clear signal that it's never okay to lie. Another one who kind of said sometimes maybe it's okay to lie depending on the circumstance. Then the participants found out their politician lied in both cases. So, what did they think about this? Well, it turns out they actually preferred the politician who made the big, clear statement and then was found to have broken it, compared to the one who was more flexible. It turns out we actually like the big, clear statement of principle, and we punish people who aren't so clear about that, even if they're less hypocritical. And finally, number four, the reasonable hypocrite. And this is just about being human. Life is messy and values often conflict with each other. Take a strict vegetarian who goes to his grandmother's house and she presents him with this treasured meat stew she's always made, and it means a lot to her. What should he do? I mean, he can pretend to eat it and say it's wonderful and go along with that kind of false representation. And we often think that's the right thing to do because the alternative is to really insult his grandmother, make her feel terrible. Who's going to win from that? He's a hypocrite, but we don't condemn him so much. We see him as reasonable. We see that life requires trade offs. Sticking to one principle at the expense of all others can seem cold and unrealistic. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, hypocrisy matters. People can lose their businesses, they can lose their reputation. And yet, we've seen it's not a simple thing. There are factors that dial up and dial down our outrage. And if you want to know what they are, check out the book, which has just come out, and I hope you enjoy it.